Alright. Anyone else? You all, hello. Song request? Small bump. I tend not to play that at radio things just because it's a little bit depressing. I like everyone to lead with a... Yeah, still makes people cry, and I think it's good to, especially on these radio shows. I think with gigs, I play it at the gigs because you can make people laugh and then make people cry and then make people scream with joy, not terror. But yeah, with these radio gigs, I tend to do like Lego House and No Diggity and stuff to get people happy because I don't want you leaving in a bad mood. That wouldn't be good. But maybe now you're going to leave in a bad mood because I didn't play it. I'm sorry. It's a long-winded explanation, but sorry. And hello? Happy birthday. That was easy. Hello? Do I have the cat from the drum video? No, that is actually two cats. It's a girl cat called Dave and a girl cat called Oscar. And they're both girls. Obviously, like no one checked down there to have a look. But they're actually. There's only a couple of acting cats in the world. You can't actually train cats. They're like a really difficult animal to train. And these two cats, because they look identical, they're in the Harry Potter films. They play Mrs. Norris, and they're in the Golden Compass and Pirates of the Caribbean. They're basically used for all these films. And yeah, it's quite weird how you get cats to do stuff. You basically have a clicker and a little bit of chicken on this thing, and then you hold it up so the cat goes like that. And then once it's held for a bit, you give it the chicken and then click it. It's a bit weird, but that video should have taken not that long to do. It's not that complicated, but like each scene was like 6 hours of the cat being like, "Oh, that's interesting over there. I'm going to go." So like you can't really train a cat. There you go. Anyone else? Hello.
Hi again. Did you say hi to my friend Alex and Sheldon?
Oh yeah, Alex and Sheldon.
Thank you.
Nice one. Hello.
You're so busy all the time. I'm wondering, do you ever have time to poop?
Do I have time to poop? Yeah. It depends. Depends whether you're like planning like the proper sit down and read a book kind of time, or whether it's one of the stealth ones. But, yeah. Anyone else? That's the most random question I've been asked. Hello.
Could you say hi to my daughter Grace?
Hey Grace.
Thank you.
Hello.
Anyone in particular that inspired you to start the loop pedal?
Yeah, actually, I went to a gig when I was 14 with a band called Ms. Loppy. They were a folk hip hop band. They've disbanded now, which is quite sad, but their support act was this guy called Gary Dunn, and he came on stage and suddenly was kind of beating his guitar like this, and then he'd stop and then carry on playing, and I was a bit like, is he using a backing track? And then he kind of would loop stuff on the guitar and then sing into another microphone and build up this huge backing track that he was just stopping and starting with his feet. And I didn't really know it was a pedal until I got home, and it was in the time of MySpace, and he had around like, I don't know, 2,000 views on MySpace, so it was like, if I messaged him, he'd message back. So I messaged him basically saying, what were you using at the gig? And he said, I was using this pedal, and I was like, can you come and show me how to use it? And he did. Lovely guy came down, showed me how to use it. We kept in touch. He actually supported me when I did Shepherd's Bush Empire as well, which was quite cool. But yeah, so he was the first one I saw with the loop pedal. And yeah, lots of people use the pedal, but he was one of the first ones to do it in a certain way that I do it now with the mic. I think some people use it more for guitar loops or more for vocal loops, but he did the whole percussion thing, which intrigued me. Anyone else? Hello.
Hello. Can you say hello to Bradley and Megan?
Hey.
Our daughters.
Bradley and Megan.
Take you
Daughters. Hello.
Did you go to a Catholic school growing up?
Did I go to a Catholic school? No. My dad actually, like, I think he had quite a bad experience with the whole Catholic thing. I think it was a bit too much for him when he was a kid. So he converted to being a Protestant with my mum. So no, I didn't go to Catholic school. I went to a lot of church when I was younger, and I sung in the choir. But there was like an old man that used to be a teacher that had a ruler, and like whenever I used to mess up, he used to poke me in the back of the head. So that's kind of why I stopped going. Pretty bad reason to stop going. But, my head hurt. Hello. What? No, that bull freaks me out. No. Like I can understand if the whole thing was like padded with squish, but like if you're thrown off onto one of those things, it ribs again.
I'm
Like,
not gonna throw you off.
that's one thing I just don't understand about American culture. Why you want it? Yeah, I can understand roller coasters because you're in.
You
You're
gotta
safe.
try it once.
That's not safe.
You gotta
Nah.
try it. Come on.
No, that's I'm all right. Thank you. Anyone else? Hello.
You have a bunch of different guitars. How do you choose which guitar to play?
It's the guitar that usually works. I have a bunch of different guitars, but like I basically go through them so fast. If you see this guitar here, it's quite worn here and here, and it's just about to break. I've been using this for about 3 months, so this is like that's how worn it gets in about 3 months. So it's basically when the guitar dies, I get a new one. But this one's called James II, because there was a James I. Basically, I've started naming them after people in my touring crew. And James was my lighting guy, and I had James I, and then on the first gig of James I, I put him on the floor, and I usually kick it like that across the stage to my guitar tech, so he can change the strings, but I think I punted it, and it just went, and snapped the whole thing on the first gig. So this is James II. But I've actually got my own signature guitar coming out soon through Martin. It's gonna come out in summer, and all the proceeds go to a children's hospital where I grew up, which is quite cool. And it's gonna be all black on the back and mahogany on the front. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, if you'd like it, summertime. Anyone else? Hello.
So, are you comfortable?
I'll get to you too,
or
Lisa.
are you more comfortable in a setting like this or the big stage with a lot of people?
It depends. This is a lot more intimate from the point of view that if I make a mistake, you will definitely see it. So like yesterday at the Cleveland gig, my loop pedal broke, and therefore I had to do the whole gig without the pedal, but no one noticed because no one expected the pedal, so everyone was just like, this is how the gig usually is. But I guarantee that if I was here using a pedal and it broke, you guys would be like, dicks, pedals just broke. So yeah, this is, it depends really. I've never really been nervous about the big shows. I think because you can't see people's faces, you know, it's just, you're playing to a, rather than a, yeah. Did you have a question over there? You did? No, she's talking. Yeah. Favourite tattoo? Probably this one. Yeah, everyone thinks it's of a couple having sex. It's not. It's a mother and child. Now you feel awkward. It's by a French artist called Matisse, who was my parents are like art nuts. I was kind of the black sheep of the family getting into music, and yeah, it's my mum's favourite artist. She was explaining to me that he was the first artist to draw the human figure in less than like 10 brushstrokes. So that's the human figure with a child, mother and child, and yeah, it's her favourite painting, so I got it tattooed. Did you have a question? You were talking earlier.
I'm going to be straightforward. I want you to remember me forever, and this question is kind of so what's your favorite sex position?
Oh, wow, this is all. Yeah, it's all a bit. It's all getting a bit deep, isn't it? I'd say the spoon afterwards. There you go. That's an even playing field. Cool. I'll do one more question and then I'll play a song. Hello. Inspired me to write the 18. I did a lot of gigs in my early days, everywhere. Like I'd play anywhere and everywhere. Literally, I'd turn up at. There was a time where the one way that I made money was going up and playing at people's houses. They booked me for a party and I'd turn up and play. And usually Australians. I don't know what was going on there, but like yeah. And I went to one Australian's house and I thought they were South African. So I was like, this is the first time I played to South Africans. They're usually all Australians. And they were like, well, they're Australian. Yeah, but in that stage of like playing anywhere, I was asked to go and play at a homeless shelter for a day. They would just like come down and be the entertainment. So I was like, for sure. And I went down there and I met a woman there who was one of the guests at the shelter. And yeah, the song was basically based around her and her story. It was all like being 18 and seeing that was a bit of a shock, because you know when you live from sofa to sofa, you think you've got it tough, and then when you meet people like that, you're like, oh, I'm pretty blessed to be in the position I'm in. That was deep. Anyone else? One more question and we'll play. Hello.
What's your biggest influence musically?
Biggest influence musically, probably my dad. My dad doesn't play a note of music, and he never has, never will. But his record collection is incredible. So he, from a young age, forced me to listen to music that at the time I didn't really like. and just got into. So you know when you're like 2 and you want to listen to Bye Bye Black Sheep, and he'd stick on Blowing in the Wind, and yeah, by that time I was like 6 and 7, I was a massive Dylan fan. My dad kind of gave. He wasn't like a strict parent when it came to music. He was a strict parent if it came to like film and TV and there was like violence and swearing and sex. When you're 9, obviously that's not good. But when it comes to music, if it was like artistic, he didn't really mind. So he bought me an Eminem CD when I was 9. Yeah, where the first song is I don't know if anyone's heard the song "Kill You," but that's the first song on the record. Bitch, I'ma kill you. And but his way of justifying it to everyone else who thought that it was bad was that Bob Dylan tells stories through his music, whether it be Ballad of Hollis Brown or North Country Blues, and Eminem tells stories in his music, whether it be "Kill You" or "Stan" or any of that. And so like there's the only thing that separates the two of them is a guitar. And he can appreciate Eminem's lyrical ability and songwriting and storytelling. And for me, being 9 years old, that really helped me out from a lyrical point of view, getting into songwriting. Because I think when you listen to a lot of singer-songwriters, you're kind of stuck in a 4-chord thing, and you're going, "Baby girl, be in my world, I'll buy you pearls, let our love unfurl, you crazy baby." Like the same sort of rhyme things, but when you listen to artists like Eminem, or he bought me a Jay-Z record when I was like 11 and stuff, when you listen to these sort of rappers, and they bend words to make them fit. And I think that's an important thing for songwriters to get into. Yeah, I think listen to more rap, because they're ahead of their time with rhymes, I think. I'm not saying Dylan isn't, Dylan's pretty cool as well. Yeah. Cool, all good? Thank you for that. Oh, is that no, you're putting your hand up for the video. Yes.
What are you going to sing next?
I'm going to sing the A-Team next. Yeah. Look at that. So thank you very much for having me. If anyone's going to the show tonight, I hope you enjoy it. Taylor's got a huge set. It's very impressive. You'll love it. There's fire, dancers, whipping off dresses, all of that.
She gave us all tickets.
Huh?
So she gave us all tickets.
She gave you all tickets?
No, you should give
I
us all
should
tickets.
give. Do you know what? If it was my show, I could, but it's not. Like, I think I get like 5 tickets for each gig. It's quite a big show. They have lots of guests and stuff. So when I come back on tour, we'll do that. But I won't be whipping up any dresses yet.
Yes.
Yeah, on my next tour, I'll be Ed Wheeler.